This episode of the Countdown City Geekcast is dedicated to Adam West. You will truly be missed. What is up, geeks and geekettes? It's the Countdown City Geekcast. We are back here again for another momentous episode and a great occasion. We're finally reviewing DC Comics and Warner Brothers' Wonder Woman.
I can't do that high pitch riff.
Boom. I'm your fellow Geekcaster Steady.
And I'm Jericho, the man with a plan.
Damn it, Ted! I was gonna use that line. And it's your boy Dusty.
And your much more above average boy. So.
What's going on, guys? It's been a while.
Oh, it sure has.
Wait. Where's our below average man, Robert?
Oh, got him.
Man.
Got him. Nailed it. High five, Jericho.
For the fans of Rob who wish he could be here with us today, he is actually in the Big Apple. He's on vacation in New York City. But he's doing a great job of sending us photos and pictures and rubbing all of the cool things that he's doing in our face, gentlemen, isn't he?
Yeah, a lot of Spider-Man references, I believe.
I pretty much that's all he's doing.
I realized that it was based in New York.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's legitimately like excited and freaking out.
As if he like just discovered it, you know? Like, guys,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
Guys, you'll never guess what I just found out. It's like when I found Bleecker Streak in New York by accident, I freaked out.
That is awesome.
It is awesome.
God.
So once again, we're here together to review DC Comics' Wonder Woman, a tremendous film, and we're also going to get into some other news that's going on, and we also lost a hero this week, so we're going to pay our small tribute, homage to one of the best Batmans that we've had in the history of entertainment, Mr. Adam West. But first,
yes, sir.
We're going to review Wonder Woman. Gentlemen, let's give initial thoughts first. How excited were you for the movie? What did you think was going to happen? On a scale of 1 to 10, how stoked were you to see this film? Jericho?
Damn it.
Oh, sorry, I needed to burp, but it didn't come out.
You are unworthy. I shall go for you. No, I was kidding.
Go for it,
Dusty.
Go, Dusty.
Dude, I was absolutely excited. From the very moment that trailer dropped, I actually, from originally when I heard that Gail Gadot, is it Gail Gadot or Gail Gadot? I'm pretty sure it's Gail Gadot, right?
Are you talking about Wonder Woman?
Yeah, I'm talking about I'm thinking T
Gal.
right?
It's
Gal.
Gal?
No,
Not Gail. Who's Gail?
Gal. My bad. Sorry, Gal.
Gal.
That
There you
Gal. Anyways, Gal Gadot. I was a little hesitant on the casting choice for her. I saw her. She made like face wise, yeah. Then I was thinking like stature as an Amazon woman, kind of superficial bull crap. But that she was putting effort into training, and then I heard that like she did like a 2-year thing for Israeli army. So I was like, maybe she's got this then. But then sure enough, when that trailer dropped, guys, I was sold. Like, I mean, of course, and maybe Batman versus Superman when she was in there, like maybe I was already convinced, but the trailer for her movie just looked awesome. So I was fully convinced from the moment that thing dropped. I mean, hell, did we do a trailer review? I kind of want to know we should like bring back some of this crap we said. That'd be awesome. But
I don't know if we did or not. I don't remember.
I'm not sure. I don't think we did. Maybe like we briefly went over it. But dude, I was excited about it, and I think I was more impressed than what I actually expect to happen.
I agree with that.
Yeah, totally.
Jericho, initial thoughts going into the film.
Yeah, man. Like same thing with Dusty. I was actually excited for Gal Gadot or Gal Gadot, whatever I can't, whatever her name is.
Gal Gadot. Let's go with Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot. We'll go with Gal Gadot. Yeah. Before Batman vs Superman, I didn't really. I've only seen her like in a few films, and she wasn't that great. But as soon as she jumped in Wonder Woman gear and Batman vs Superman, I was completely sold. As soon as she shows up in the scene, so I was like, the movie has to be good. Her own movie, and trailers. Like Dusty said, trailers were amazing. It totally sold me. I had I didn't want to set my bar too high because I did the same thing with Batman vs Superman. I set the bar high with Suicide Squad, and was pretty let down. So I didn't want to, expect too much. But just the fact that we're getting a live action Wonder Woman film finally, first ever, and it just I was super excited, and it totally did not fail me at all.
Here. Yeah, well said. I was kind of equally as excited, but probably nowhere near as excited as I was for Batman v Superman. I just think that I wanted I don't want little expectations. I just wanted to go in with no expectations. I didn't know much about the plot. I knew vaguely, the origin of Wonder Woman, and I just figured they were going to do a lot of that. But just to quickly just get to the point that I went in with no expectations, and we're going to get into exactly what we loved about the film and our overall thoughts on how well it did. And let's just say it blew anything I could have imagined out of the water. So I'm really glad I just went in with like zero bar or zero expectations set for this movie. I just wanted to go in as a fan, nothing else behind it, and I was pleasantly surprised. Let's get into this film, but first I want to tell you guys something that I found out going into this that I did not know beforehand. Patty Jenkins, who was obviously the director, this film had been pretty much brought to Warner Brothers a long time ago. I don't know if you guys heard this or not, but this has been in development since 1996.
What?
Oh,
No.
wow. That's insane.
Yeah, so
Wow.
way back when, in 96, is when Warner Brothers had been starting to get the ball rolling on producing a Wonder Woman film. They've had several writers come in to, pitch their stories. I think Joss Whedon even had his own Wonder Woman movie kind of written out. And sometime around 2005, after nothing had happened, and after a while, Patty got involved. She had to step away for personal reasons for a certain amount of time, but she came back, and then she, hit it out of the park.
So it wasn't so much this fell in Patty Jenkins' lap for the sake of having a female director. She was literally the one that actually put effort into like, hey, this would be great. This would be something to pursue.
I feel the way she kind of explained it in an interview. She had this idea a really long time ago, and she kind of kept at it.
That's awesome.
Let's get into the first act of this movie. I kind of want to break it into 3 separate parts. So the first act, let me just say, I just wanted to see. I've always wanted to see Themyscira, right? It was always this fantasy place, this island.
Paradise.
It's supposed to be beautiful. It's supposed to be
nothing but women. I mean, yeah.
It lived up to its reputation because the way it was shot was amazing. The island was great. I paid really close attention to sort of the design of the buildings and the murals, especially in Diana's sort of room as a kid. Like everything was just really elegant, really beautiful. I'm glad they put that much effort into the details.
Oh man!
And these warriors, I mean, from just the get-go, from just that first training montage, I'm already hooked. I'm already thinking to myself like, oh my god, this is a very badass group of women here that could probably take down armies of men if necessary. Um, Dusty, go for it. What are your first thoughts about the mascara?
Dude, like you said, beautiful and elegant. It was, I have this thing for. I have a very big soft spot for Greek mythology. So to have this wondrous like island and water, and then having Diana's mother, Hippolyta, kind of go into like more Greek lore and all that kind of stuff about the origin. Like it was all cool. Like I was feeling like I was in like a Greek, kind of Greek movie, kind of like an Odyssey kind of feel. Of course, without all the creatures there. But no, I loved it. I loved the stonework was beautiful. It was very convincing. And then I kind of like where the movie went from that. You went from this beautiful paradise place, and then when they start their journey, or when Diana starts her journey, you go into jolly old England or London. It's hideous,
Yeah.
and then
Well,
war-stricken lands. It's not for everyone, right?
Yeah.
And then war-stricken lands, and mud, grime, smoke, just darkness. And so it was a great transition from, where she's coming from, which is, beautiful and perfect and innocent, which is a lot to do with her character, and then going into like this real world. So I thought they did great with, yes, the setting and the transition to the movie.
Jericho, your thoughts in Act 1 on the mascara?
Yeah, same as both of y'all. Like I was really expecting it to be this real, just beautiful, mythical island, and was hoping it wouldn't look, too much CGI or fake, which I was afraid it was gonna happen. But it looked great. It looked, seamless. It didn't seem like I'm sure there was a lot of CGI, but it just didn't seem like it. And like you were saying, all the detail that they put into the stonework and the rooms and the weapons and their gear and everything, it was amazing. It looked really good, and they didn't spare any expense, and it's just the first act of the movie. Like it just looked amazing, and I was excited for the rest of the film. It really set up the rest of the film for me.
Mm-hmm.
The training, like you said, was great. Robin Wright for sure. Jenny from Forrest Gump.
Jenny, I know.
She definitely made Wonder Woman into who she is. Into the fighter and warrior that we all know. And if it wasn't for her little kind of going against, is it Hippolyta or Hippolyta or how do you say Wonder Woman's mom's name? Hippolyta, right? If it wasn't for her going against Hippolyta's request for her to not be trained, for Diana to not be trained, I mean, then we wouldn't have Wonder Woman. So I think it was just very cool to see all that, and just like you, Dusty, I have a soft spot for Greek mythology, and it was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I loved hearing how Wonder Woman was created, and how all the women there, like that was amazing. That was really, really cool. You've never seen that. I think they've only shown that once in one of the animated films for her. But besides that, she's always had different origin stories, very similar but different. And I think this one was like really right on the money. So it was.
It was good. Yeah, it was great. It was actually different for me because we're kind of going into more of that with Ares, but usually it's always been. Or this is spoilers. Yeah, it's already been out for a while. Whatever.
Yeah.
So usually it's Ares. To me, as I recall, Ares is usually playing her father.
Yeah.
But now it's turned around that Zeus is daddy, and then of course Ares is brother now, which was totally cool. I mean, because once I saw, it's Germans and World War, and so I'm thinking, okay, then it's gonna definitely play on the part of War of Man, so it's definitely gonna be Ares.
Right.
That was just kind of a given. It's just not so much safe, but it's just, I don't think there's any way to do it. So yeah, no, they did good, and I love that they added the Greek mythology into that, and kind of puts into perspective that, so is this saying that Greek gods are the actual gods of the DC universe?
Right. Exactly. It kind of it kind of alluded towards that, right? A little bit.
Yeah, right. It's like,
Yeah, but I mean, I love that. I mean, once we find
yeah,
out,
same
especially
here.
once we find out who Ares is and everything, I love the little twist, that a change in here that Ares is the brother instead of the dad.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was kind of cool to see. He was sort of like the jealous brother, and uh, to see that what Zeus created and how he sacrificed himself and
Do you
everything.
do you really think it was jealousy? Because
It
a lot of the times it just seemed like I don't know, like they didn't really go much into that other than evidently he hated man. I don't know, like he just
it to me it
his,
seemed, I don't, maybe I read it wrong, or kind of saw it wrong, but to me I took it as he saw everything that Zeus was willing to do, uh, and wanted to, for mankind, and yet, here Ares is, evil, and he's a god of war, and he's like, no, you're not gonna do this, you're not gonna, save these people, like I'm gonna, go and make man evil again, and kind
yeah,
of,
and that just kind of makes sense because like he
yeah,
talks, now that you made me think about it,
yeah,
his whole step, like in the final battle, when he's trying to convince Diane that we just need to get rid of him so we can bring this world back to its former glory.
exactly.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait a minute, you're the god of war. Like, don't you want humans and to like exist and like just start killing each other for eternity? I mean, then what are you, god of peace?
And that's exactly what I loved about this. That's why I love this change, because instead of Diana being, the daughter, and she's there basically the savior, now she's the sister, and it's like she can still have her dad once Ares is gone. Like if if he's ever like gone for good or whatever, you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
she can still
Yeah.
have the father figure there, and eventually have him come in, maybe come in later films or something somehow, and so I think that's kind of cool. She has that instead of it being just good and evil inside of her, it's more good and more pure than just the struggle. So I kind of like that a little bit more.
Gotcha. Sorry, Ted, we got off topic.
No, I think that covered the whole movie. Thanks, guys.
Right. That's a review.
And that'll do it. No, I'm just kidding.
But anyways, I'm sorry, Ted.
No,
You
we're
talk
good.
about Thermoscara, but also go into what you wanted me to look at when I went to go see it both times.
Ooh,
I forgot to bring that up. So go into that.
yeah.
This is a good transition.
No, definitely. We're all talking about the Easter egg, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh wait. Okay, Jericho. Yeah.
Let's see. How do I put this? This isn't confirmed. This is, as of today, just a really...
Have you seen anyone else talk about it?
Nothing. Nobody.
No.
Nothing.
Okay.
For you fans who are just like scratching your heads at the moment, there was something I had spotted in my second viewing of this film. I saw the movie 3 times by choice, but also it was just convenience. Anyway, it's not a big deal.
Everyone knows that you see these comic book movies by choice 2 or 3 times at least. At least.
You have a lot of friends and family. They go to the movies. You get invited. You're like, I got nothing to do. So
even if we didn't do a podcast, we would still do it.
Yeah.
still be doing it. Still be doing it. So there might be. I'm trying to get a confirmation from somebody, but so far nothing has happened. So my second viewing, I noticed while Diana is still a young girl, and her mother is walking her through their tower of weapons. Her mother says, "This tower holds all of the weapons bestowed to us by the gods. So these are all the weapons they've received from Zeus and whatnot. And they're all located in this one tower. It's guarded or whatever. There's the obvious weapons that we see later. I mean, we see the sword for the first time. The God Killer, as they called it. Off in the distance, behind in another corridor, you see an object illuminated by light. And it's just gold. All you see is a shiny gold.
Out of focus.
Out of focus, of course, because it's literally like 50 feet behind them. So you really...
Yeah, exactly.
You probably couldn't see it that well anyways. But shiny gold object, right? I think nothing of it. It's cool. But, that'd be cool if it was something specifically put there for a reason, like all of the things in comic book movies are put in there for reasons, anyways. Fast forward to when Diana is an adult, she's now taking the weapons from this said tower, and she gets her lasso, and she gets her shield, and as she's walking over to the God Killer's sword, now the item that we saw in the distance, she's walking directly past it. And it's larger, and again, it's still very quick. I'm talking a 0.2 of a second quick. It's still lit up. It's in an oval type shape, bright gold. This is the brightest
And
golden
still,
thing you've ever seen.
It's still so out of focus because the second time I watched it, Ted, I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait for once she starts grabbing that lasso, I'm gonna keep my eye on it, and I did, and it was legitimately, intentionally out of focus.
Yes.
Like they would not let you look at it for and like once I saw that, like I was convinced right then, like that has to be something big, and there's I think Ted's right that it's a good chance that it is. Go ahead, Ted.
It is.
Go ahead, Ted.
If it's true, this is huge. It looks to me and to Dusty that it could possibly be none other than Dr. Fate's helmet.
What?
We're talking about the mask that once you place on, you are, what would you say, possessed by the sorcerer Dr. Fate. His powers are bestowed to you,
vessel.
And he uses your body as a vessel to use his
host. There we go. Host.
Yeah, his host. He uses your body as a host to conjure up his magic, which he is by far one of the most powerful characters in the DC Comics universe. So, if you look online with any of the large media sources, any of the comic book entertainment sources, I'm telling you, no one. Look up your favorite YouTuber that does movie reviews. 0 individuals have seen or mentioned this. I know because I've checked, at least all my favorites. But there might be more to the story. I say that because before this movie was released, the character Samir in the movie, who's one of Steve Trevor's comrades or fellow soldiers, he was rumored to play Dr. Fate in this movie. And that was in an article way before this movie was ever released. 6 months to a year before it was released, somebody had heard that he had rumored to be playing Dr. Fate in this movie. Well, he clearly was not playing Dr. Fate, but this could still hold true. And Dusty, you and I talked about this later on after we saw the film. If you're going to introduce Dr. Fate into this universe, what better character to bring him into it than Wonder Woman? It should be one of her films that they introduce Dr. Fate. So let's hope we see him in a sequel, right?
For sure, I agree.
Jericho, did we just blow your mind right now?
You did, man. Like, yeah, when you and I saw it, I saw it, but I was like, it can't be. Like, why is it, randomly going to be there? And now, and as you're talking about it now, I'm like, damn, that really had to have been it. And it's that would be actually Wonder Woman is the perfect character to kind of show that he's connected somehow, and that he's out there. He's already known. He's already existed or something. That's pretty cool.
And imagine a trailer with Wonder Woman 2, and it goes back like a flashback of her getting her armor before she leaves for London, and it's showing a blur of Wonder Woman's silhouette passing by this golden object, and it pans in on it, and it's the helmet.
Yeah.
And just oh god, how great of a teaser would that be?
This is
That
huge,
would be amazing.
huge.
Yes.
I mean, Dr. Fate's clearly one of the biggest. I mean, I'm gonna call him a B-level character, but Just on popularity alone, he's probably one of the biggest.
Oh, nah. Oh, he's not.
Yeah.
People would love to hear about Doctor Fate. Maybe not get a solo film, but at least hear about it and see him in action. That'd be great.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. Yeah,
All right. So we'll keep going, but just for you fans out there, if you watch the movie again or once the Blu-ray comes out, it's gonna be a lot easier to get a great picture of it or a great screenshot of it. Pause it just right. You're not gonna be able to tell 100%. The only way this is gonna get confirmed if somebody from the production, the writers, Patty Jenkins. I've tweeted to Patty. Patty, give me something, Patty.
You did?
I tweeted Patty.
You tweeted Patty?
I tweeted Patty. She's
Y'all are on a first name
responding
basis?
to a lot of people. Miss Jenkins.
I call her PJ.
Mrs. Jenkins. PJ. I call her PJ.
Yo, what's up, PJ?
And I tweeted her and
man.
said, Patty, I think you put something in there that you want us to see related to a very mystical superhero character. Is that true or not? But I've yet to receive an answer. Anyway, let's get back into this movie. And Dr. Fate, that's going to be huge.
That'd be great.
Chris Pine, Steve Trevor.
Dude, yes.
Hot. Studley.
Steve Pine comes into the mix when he crash lands right off the coast of Themyscira. And might I say, like, again, as this movie keeps going, I am just so amazed on how beautiful everything looks. Every shot is like well thought out.
Mm-hmm.
The part
Yeah,
where Chris
definitely.
Pine is like going under and he turns around. I don't know why he turns around, but he turns around and all you see is Gal Gadot. She's standing
Nailed
on
it.
the wreckage of his plane and he just sees her outline above the water.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. That's beautiful.
It was great. It was a great shot.
And then the part when she grabs him and she's like carrying him off across the water, I'm just like I'm hooked. I'm so hooked right now. If the rest of this movie is terrible, this first 20 minutes has been absolutely beautifully stunning. So
And just the way when like she pulls him to shore and just like looks at him like in amazement, like Gal Gadot did such a great job as Wonder Woman
Yeah.
coming in
Yes.
from like a time like coming into not knowing like anything about the real world, like just like her innocence, but yet when like the only thing that she's familiar with and that like really brings out the character is not I don't want to say violence, but battle. You know, that's like the one thing she responds to. Everything else, she has like no idea what's going on, and her reaction to everything is just so fucking great.
Yeah, it's like childlike
Like,
almost.
It's childlike, yes. It's
Yeah.
just like I just can't think of a better word than innocent, And like that's one of the reasons why Gal Gadot just really knocked it out of the park for me.
Yeah,
But,
definitely.
Yeah, so yeah, Chris Pine, and then like Chris Pine, and also I gotta give props to Chris Pine. Like he did a great job in this movie.
oh yeah.
Like
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
I don't want to hit on him as far as saying like he didn't have to stretch very far as his kind of character, but at the same time, the way he it fit. It was great, and like he was a great Steve Trevor. So
For sure.
Might I just say that this movie really shows how talented Chris Pine is? Because he's
How
asked
so?
to do a lot of different emotions. He's asked to do all the heavy lifting as far as like comedy and timing is concerned. And it comes out so natural for him. He's just really great at it.
especially towards the end. You're right. Like
Oh yeah.
definitely flying emotions. You're right, Ted. Damn.
Yeah.
Bravo to Chris Pine.
Bravo.
I mean,
Bravo.
he's not going to receive an Oscar for this, but I'm sure he's gained if he hasn't already gained your respect for all the other great characters he's done in the past, this one really lets him shine out there. He's just doing a number of different things. I don't want to say he's carrying the movie because he doesn't need to carry this movie, but he's keeping the audience engaged, and he's pretty much 60% of all the comedy is really just on his shoulders to deliver a line at the right moment and the right time.
You know what? I never thought about that, but you're right. He is in on most of the comedy. That's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
And you know what? That's actually another thing too that I've heard a lot about. Like I heard one other review that, in comparison to like Marvel, which like I guess the best example would be Age of Ultron. Avengers: Age of Ultron, like where it was just slinging jokes like left and right. Which some of them are great. Like I enjoy some, but there was overkill, and the jokes in this movie with Wonder Woman were all like, I think it had to go into Wonder Woman's innocence, because like how like something we do on a regular day is not that funny, but if a kid does it, it's the most hilarious thing ever.
Yeah.
Right? It's like who, right? And so when you have Gal Gadot playing that part, as far as like we said it earlier, innocence, childlike, and her response to these things, it's that same effect, and it works perfect. It goes along with how they're trying to direct the movie into it. So so even when the jokes came, they were natural, they were organic. It was perfect.
Exactly.
For sure, totally. I was gonna say, just real quick, just based off of that, like I had two favorite scenes of comedy wise, and one of them comes later on when they finally get to London, and Diana goes into the room where all the big wigs all the men are discussing what to do, and she comes in thinking, she doesn't know, she doesn't come from a world where it's only men are supposed to talk and only men have the power and all that stuff, and so she's thinking like, hey, let me get my word out. But Chris Pine, Steve Trevor's all like, no, she's my sister. I think that's what he said, right? Sister or something. And
yeah.
Secretary.
Secretary, yeah.
Oh, she's a blind sister.
There you go.
Like,
yeah. And I'm
like none, I think.
It's funny because it, if you think about the times that this movie's taking place and all that stuff, and it's true. It's like technically she shouldn't have been allowed in there, but again, Wonder Woman, like you were saying, her innocence, it eludes them or eludes her, but for him,
she's
he's just
speaking
like,
truth, truth and justice, bruh.
And there you go, in the Themyscira way, and he's just like right at the top of his head, like, oh, she's my blind sister. I'm like, that's genius, like and then my other favorite scene is when they're on the boat. And just talking about the human reproductive system and everything, like that was hilarious. That whole scene was just freaking hilarious. And by the way, did y'all know that they actually improvised that entire scene?
Oh, I was wondering that.
Oh, no way. That's great.
They actually,
best way to do it.
So Patty Jenkins gave them like a general outline of like what to discuss, and she wanted them to be something along the lines of like sex and how it works between men and women, and they just kind of went off of it and then made that scene, and that, to me, that was like one of my absolute favorite scenes because it was just so funny. And Chris, you kind of get this feeling like Steve Trevor's like, oh, maybe I'm gonna be able to like sleep with this girl, and the whole time Diana is like, okay, well, good night. After that whole talk. It's just like, all right, good night, and that's it. And then he's just kind of like, all right, good night. Like that was one of my favorite scenes. I absolutely love that. That was hilarious.
I love when she says, "I've read all of Cleo's 12 volumes of
12 volumes
of pleasure," and Chris Pine looks in the sky. He's just like he takes a big gulp and he goes, 12, huh?
Yeah. And
did you bring any of them?
Did you bring any of these volumes?
Yeah, that was classic. I mean, I wasn't surprised. That was good. Like, that kind of joke was going to be set up just for make guys like, oh, guys aren't necessary for that kind of stuff. Like, oh, yeah.
It's so tough to do these lines, but it also just the mannerisms he adds. When she's asking him like, why are you sleeping over there? And she keeps misunderstanding what he's saying. And you'll see him like put his hand out and just squint his eyes, and he puts his hand out like, nope, that's not what I mean. It's not what I mean. Like,
no.
It's, yeah, little
Marriage, you
things
don't
like
have that? No, wait, of course you don't.
It is so good. He does an amazing job. I know we're talking about him. Um, Gal Gadot did everything she was supposed to do. She's a fish out of
Yes.
water. She's supposed to
Yeah.
set up all of these little moments and these unorthodox sort of situations, and he's just meant to like. She sets him up. He's meant to knock him down. I love these two together. They have such good chemistry.
Yeah,
It only
I was
it's
just about to say
terrible
the
we're not
same
going to get
thing,
him in
dude.
another movie, but it is what it is.
Yes.
You never know. They might pluck some scenes, like some past scenes or something like that.
We'll talk about it. We will talk
I'm
about it. We'll
hoping.
give our theory
But
how it's
you're
going to
right.
happen.
Great freaking chemistry. And what was I just gonna say? Oh, did y'all see that video of it was Chris Pine and Gal Gadot? They were doing an interview together, and Chris Pine was answering a question, and Gal Gadot looks over at Chris Pine, and she is just like got this stare of gushing, like fangirl, and she even bites her lip a little bit when she's
nice.
looking at him. Yeah, and then like suddenly it snaps, and you get that Kanye face where she turns around, like erases the smile, and like looks back at the interviewer. You know, like that moment Gal Gadot remembers that she's married.
Yeah, right.
So
That's
yeah, the
funny.
chemistry was that right there solidified that. Obviously, they had great chemistry on the set. So
Yeah,
no, it worked real well throughout the movie.
that's awesome.
I mean,
love that.
I don't blame the girl, dude. Chris Pine. I mean, come on.
He's
All
up there with
right.
Tom Hardy. He's up there with Tom Hardy. We'll say
He's
that.
Tom Hardy, Chris Evans, Star Lord. You know, all the Chris's, whatever.
We're in the second act of this film, and this
real quick. We spent a lot of time talking about Chris Pine right now. I just hope y'all know that.
I think it's
Oh
deserved.
yeah. Oh crap. No, and like that's bad because this is like the woman's movie, so we
Well,
can't.
true,
dude,
that-
we should-
That
we
that
are
too.
sexist assholes.
hold
I
on.
actually wasn't
hold
even
on.
thinking about that, but that is true.
I'm sure our female audience doesn't mind you talking about
Won't
Chris
mind
Pine.
a little bit of both, right? Yeah, of course.
I don't think they are complaining at all that Chris Pine was in this movie with no clothes on as well.
That's true.
Exactly. There's probably a good reason why Chris Pine was put in this movie.
Anyways, where were we at?
Getting back to
Moving on.
we're in the second act of this movie. Diana and Steve Trevor are in London, and this is her fish out of water moment. It's hilarious to me seeing her trying to understand both the city, the environment, and just our civilization. Is this what women wear when they go into battle? And no, that's not it. The part when she's like, all right, well, let me change, and she's about to like drop trowel right in the middle of the department store.
Yes.
Kicks her leg up, rips a dress.
Yeah, Trevor's
And there-
secretary's like, no, let's not do
What's
that.
that? Etta, what's it like? Lucy Day? I think Lucy Davis
Yeah, I think so.
is her
I
name.
love
So
her.
she did
hilarious.
great. She was
She was-
awesome.
Yeah, exactly. She did exactly what she needed to do. She did it extremely well. Bravo. I mean, everybody in this cast was tremendous.
Oh, dude, I didn't have a complaint about much. I mean, probably nah.
No.
I have something to say, but it's towards the end about David DeLuise. That's about it.
Another one of the funny moments for me was you were talking about it earlier, Jericho. Diana goes into the room with all the generals, and they're all the leaders, whatever, and they're all kind of arguing. And Steve Trevor just gets her out of the room, and she's giving him like. Actually, did that happen later? They're getting into an argument because she wants to go. He tells the generals, "All right, we're gonna lay off and stuff." And then he takes her lasso once he gets her in the hallway. He takes her lasso because she thinks she's lying to him.
Yeah.
She thinks he's lying to her. He takes the lasso and he goes, "I'm gonna take you to the war." And then the honesty keeps flooding out of him. So he's like, "This is a terrible idea. We're probably gonna die."
Probably gonna die.
Oh, that was a great scene. And seeing I think only Chris Pine, not to go back to him, but I think only he could pull off that scene. Like, everyone else it would seem forced. Here, he just made it seem so natural, and like you could tell, Steve Trevor was actually like, "Holy crap! Like, this is a bad idea. Like, we should not be doing this. This is a really we're gonna die."
And rewind back to like Themyscira where he gets interrogated with the lasso. That was such a great introduction to the lasso.
Yeah.
Just like it burns and everything. Like because it actually does. The more you resist, the more painful it is. Like I've seen that in actual DC like cartoon. That was perfect. And yeah, his whole reaction, he nailed it with all that crap. And it's kind of funny that I think he's the only person that gets that rope used on him.
Yeah.
The German kills himself, and Ares is already telling the truth. So yeah. Chris Pine's the only one that gets lasso the whole movie. It's great.
And let's talk about the Superman Christopher Reeve inspired moment.
Yes.
Trevor and Diana get cornered in a little alleyway in London, and she stops a bullet by jumping in front of Chris Pine. And Patty mentioned it 100 times in interviews. This was her homage to Christopher Reeve when he had caught the bullet jumping in front of Lois and catching it in his hand. So this was her.
I love that their outfits too kind of represented that too.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm sure you saw that immediately, Jericho, when that happened, right?
Well, I remember. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, I remember them showing it in the trailer, which I kind of hope they didn't show it because that would have been a nice little surprise.
That would have been really cool. Yeah, now that I think about that, you're right. Like I was kind of surprised why would they show that in the trailer spot.
Yeah. I mean, to me that's kind of a big thing. That's more of an Easter egg than anything. But that was. I
want to be the guy that makes the trailers, man.
Exactly, man. Like watch the movie first and be like, okay, I know what not to put in the trailer to really surprise the fans.
Kill it. As cinematographers for trailers, you kill it, Jericho.
That's right. Yeah, that was a very cool scene, and not just that little scene, but just the whole afterwards, after she blocks the bullet, and Steve Trevor catches the bullet, just the whole fighting after that, like that was very, very cool. I just loved it. I honestly love the movie through and through.
Maybe I agree. I'm gonna say this is. I kept reminding myself. I kind of take little. I don't know. I think in my head, I'm thinking to myself like what I am impressed by at certain points in the movie, and it's at this point after she stops the bullet. I think to myself, we've only seen this is probably our only second action scene of the movie. We had the first one with the Amazonians against the German soldiers, which great scene, fantastic choreography.
Yes.
And Robin Wright's character, died taking a bullet for Diana, which was extremely sad, like early on in the movie. But when we see them in the alley, this is like the only kind of second action sequence, even though it's a short one. And I'm thinking to myself, even though there hasn't been a lot of action, I am highly entertained by this movie just because of the dialogue, because of the character development, everything they've decided to do so far. I'm so engaged with that. This movie's doing a hell of a job keeping me this engaged, even though it's not explosions and fighting left and right. That's not what they're going for. They had decisions, they had ideas, and they're sticking to it, and it's working. And the characters are pulling it off, and I'm loving every second of it. And I just can't wait for Diana to get to war. It's about time we need to get to war.
Gosh,
totally.
Yes. But
we were getting antsy like the way Diana was, like come on, I want to go fight already.
Yeah, we weren't the only one for sure.
Yeah, we were on par with her.
But no, you're totally right that a lot of great movies that didn't were expected for action that didn't have it did really good when they made memorable scenes like that. Like for me, Ninja Turtles, the original.
Yes.
Not a lot of fighting, but just the lines. Holy crap! Just line after line was just memorable, and we quote that crap. Yeah, we even do it here. We usually quote number 2, but still, even the first one, it's just it was great dialogue, and the characters just meshed. And so with Lucy Davis, Chris Pine, Diana was especially Gal Gadot. Like one of my like you were talking about your favorite scenes, Jericho. Two of mine were actually in London, and the first one was very simple. She saw a baby, and like she like kicks her head to the side, huge freaking smile. Goes,
Yeah.
"Oh, a baby!" Like goes from fierce wanting to go to war, and oh, baby.
Yeah.
Like it was so small because like she was the only kid. She's never seen a
Exactly.
baby.
Yeah.
And then it was great. And then after all said and done, they're going to war, or whatever. And the ice cream, like just
Oh yes.
simple crap like that. Like what is? Oh, you should be so proud.
Yeah.
Dude, I was just falling in love with her like every damn minute. Like she's just like strong, but just so so sweet. It was just
she kind of goes back and forth, like she's that innocent child who
yes,
has her mind set on something. Yeah.
She showed every like possible spectrum that we could possibly want to see out of Diana Prince.
Exactly.
It was great.
Exactly, for sure.
For sure.
That was kind of cool too how they brought in her last name because like she's always been Diana Prince.
Yeah.
And then the Chris Pine throws it in there, Princess of a Prince, Diana Prince. I'm like, oh shit, nice. Smooth. Yep. I like it.
Nailed it. Let's see here. We meet Steve Trevor's. This is pretty much our like pulling together the team. The Howling Commandos of DC Comics, shall I call them? Maybe.
Yeah. True.
Samir, Charlie, and the Chief.
The Chief.
They all come together, and they're all sort of.
Do you know that guy's name, the Chief?
Oh, he has a crazy name.
His name is Eugene Brave Rock.
Wow.
How cool is that?
That is pretty. That's pretty awesome.
Like you go from, you got Eugene, you're like, and then you got Brave Rock, you're like, oh fuck yeah, totally makes up for it.
But yeah, what I liked about meeting them is it kind of reminded me of the Howling Commandos, where you meet them all.
Yeah.
You just instantly felt a sense of brotherhood, and they've known each other for years, and they fought with each other for years, and it didn't seem like they didn't have to introduce each character and explain anything about them, like and Diana didn't care. Diana was like, all right, these are the people we're taking with us, let's go, let's get it on. And but these guys they were a great team. Especially I forgot the Scottish dude's name, the one that ended up getting like super drunk. Okay, Charlie, yeah. And he's supposed to be the best sniper, but then he chickens out when needed, and then in the end, kind of saves the day and stuff. Like little things like that was really cool. But yeah, just the actors overall did a great job. I love the guy that plays, what's his name,
Samir.
Samir, there you go. Samir. Sorry, he's been in a few movies, and he's a great actor, and so I was really really cool to see him in this movie too. So I overall, I just loved them as a group. They really truly reminded me of the Howling Commandos, which was again another great group of warriors there.
Agreed.
And hats off to like how like in the amount of time that they introduced them, they made them memorable, and you were committed to them. Like if one of them died, I would genuinely feel something for them. Like they did a great job in the amount of time.
And that's what I'm saying. Like when Charlie was like, I guess I don't know what you want to call it. Like, oh dang, I forgot that term for soldiers that have like PTSD, but when they, like shell shocked, I think, sort of in a way. Like I felt for him. I was like, oh my god, like what's wrong with him? Like here he was supposed to be this amazing sniper, and yet what's going on with him? Like he's seen stuff and he's been through stuff, and you didn't need to know his history. So they did a really great job.
You know what? And now that you say that, I was kind of upset that they didn't give him a moment to where he kind of makes up for it.
Yeah,
aside from like the singing thing, but throw up a fucking a great fantastic fucking shot or something like that, and
But you know what? I think that's kind of expected too, in a way.
Oh, but you have to.
So,
You have to.
I don't. For
Even
me, like I get it, but for me, I was like, that's good. The fact that they didn't do it, him singing, because I think it didn't Diana come and like
Yes.
she kind of sat with him or like to
Who
me
will who will?
that was kind of
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
her telling him like it's cool, man. Don't worry about it. These things happen.
Yeah, and then like she's like, he basically says you should go on without me, and then she kind of like warms the moment of like, who will sing for us?
Exactly.
And you're right. Like it kind of just makes it good. So I was totally satisfied with that. How it continued on.
Patty Jenkins has mentioned that there wasn't any footage really cut from this movie. That
Yes.
everything that they scripted was kept in the movie. But I gotta believe that there has to be at least 10 seconds somewhere where Charlie is either still hesitant towards the final act of the film, and either Samir or Steve Trevor just has like a really quick, I don't know, sort of a hero's pep talk, and Charlie sort of snaps out of it. But perhaps it's taken out because there's already so much going on, and they're trying to deliver the twist of Sir Patrick being Ares at the end, that there really isn't any room for Charlie to have sort of his hero's arc. But you see him shooting at the end. He's clearly gotten over whatever was holding him back before, because he ran out of ammo, and he's asking anybody else like, any more bullets, and they're like, no, we're all out. So,
and that's what I think. Going back to the whole singing, scene, I think that kind of, in a way, that was, without having the actual pep talk, that was Diana's way of giving him a pep talk, and that was enough for him to be like, for him to get over it and want to go fight. So again, going for me anyway, I was fine without him having the pep talk, an actual pep talk, and showing him getting scared and then getting the pep talk, because for me that scene did it. That was like, you see him freaking out, and then you see them later celebrating, and Diana, kind of talks to him a little bit, and he's good from there.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't see anything wrong with them not doing it. Just kind of expected. Let's get to my favorite part of the movie, and I don't know if it's your guys' favorite part, but by far, this is... here I go again, making my declarations. This is one of the best moments in like superhero movie history, in my opinion. The team arrives in the front lines at this place called No Man's Land, which actually here was a real place in history, but I could have heard that wrong. And
no, you got it.
There you go. Steve's telling Diana, like, we got to keep moving. We can't stay here. These guys haven't moved nothing but like an inch in years, he said, right? Yeah. These guys have not moved an inch in years. And it's quite telling that this place is called No Man's Land. I was almost expecting Diana to say, pull a Lord of the Rings Two Towers moment, when, what was that, the Night, I was going to say the Night's King. Is it the Night's King who says, no man can kill me?
Yeah, and then she's like, well,
I am no man.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's, what's the dragon rider, whatever guy.
There you go. I think it's a Night's King.
Anyway,
that's also a Game of Thrones reference, so I have no idea anymore. I was waiting for Diana to look over the shoulder and say,
yes, I know. No, I was waiting for it too. But she didn't do it, thank fucking God.
Yeah, that would have been probably too corny, so, good call, Patty, or maybe that's another scene that got cut.
Patty really called off a lot of the obvious line, like a lot of the obvious crap that was, like, people would expect. I think she called a lot of it off.
Yeah, this is not going to be a campy superhero movie. This
isn't
going to be, anything like that.
I think that's just, what we got from a woman's touch, and I loved it. So
yeah, they really wanted to validate
none of these
her
old
as
dad joke, directors, going in here.
No, yeah, that's not gonna fly. They really want to validate her as a solo character in this film. They wanted to prove they can make her make a substantial film just with Wonder Woman. And this moment to me proves it. She gets up, she's walking across, and once she starts sort of running, she's blocking off bullets, she's knocking away grenade shells with her shield, she's taking heavy gunfire, and again, this is visually it's stunning. Emotionally, it is so powerful. My eyes are welling up. I'm not afraid to say it. This is a huge moment. I loved every second.
You know what, Ted? And to cut you off right there, I think the build up to it was even better. Like
huge.
they got to these Badlands, whatever you want to call them, before, right? And she's like, "Why are they beating those animals? What? He's hurt. And they're constantly telling we don't have time. We can't do this, we can't do that." And it got to a point where she was tired of hearing it. And to me, that's what makes it like her right now, like the ultimate like hero right now in the DC universe. This is kind of what I kind of wanted to see. I hope I don't hurt Jericho's feelings in Superman.
Yes.
No, I agree.
Like this is the hero that DC needed. Like I kind of like it, where they kind of put in Superman, but like that's what I expected from Superman, just like the instant justice and truth and justice, whatever. And she finally did that. She got fed up with hearing it, and you know what? And I think it was a good build up. And then the turning point of that was no man has ever crossed that, and she's just like tired of hearing this crap, and she's like, I'm going, And then you're right, yes. And then we go into the scene, and it's just utter badassness.
It's brilliant.
Blocking bullets, and like in the CGI, like there's a lot of times you can totally see the CGI, but it wasn't bad. It was
not.
It was good. Like there was one moment like in the Themyscira battle where that one girl like throws some daggers. That looked a little cheesy. And it was maybe because it was in slow mo, it just made it look instant cheesy. But for the most part, the whole movie, it was great. And then her just taking the bombardment of that freaking machine gun and just her squad rallied up. And then once they saw them really pushed, then all the other people started going up there. And so I'm with you, Ted. I guess I'm not surprised, but I'm so glad that it was your favorite scene because it was mine too, and I'm pretty sure it's a universal favorite scene.
And that part really got me
for a lot of people.
Yeah, that part really got me too when they finally the guys finally realized like she's covered a good distance, like let's go help, and they just rally up like you said and charged, and like imagine like Ted was saying, they had been there for years, barely moved an inch, and now they just gained so many yards to run out there, and that's a huge difference compared to the work that they were able to do. So like that scene right there, I was like, holy cow, just kind of put yourself in their shoes, like trying to get further out there and into this war and not being able to do anything, and all of a sudden you have your opening, so you take it, and just everyone just goes out there. So that was so cool, so cool.
I love that this film for the longest part of this movie, it's really never a superhero film. Like in the very beginning, Dustin, you said it felt like an Odyssey type movie. It felt like it was this mythological sort of type film.
Starting out, yes.
Yeah, starting out,
that feeling.
Just like that. Right in the middle, when she gets to London, you hear the music score change. It sort of feels like a romantic comedy. She's walking to the store, and the music while she's walking in is very light and sort of playful. And it feels like romantic comedy. It really does. And then from here on out, especially this scene, I'm feeling like it feels more like just a pure war film, like The Patriot with Mel Gibson, or name another war movie. Like it's really trying to capture the essence of these different genres and put them into just one film. It never really felt like a superhero movie. Maybe towards the end, during the final scene, but other than that, up to this point, it's not trying to be that. It's trying to be more than just a superhero genre film.
definitely felt different because there's plenty of scenes where if she wasn't in the shot, it felt like a war movie. Like I was watching, like, Saving Private Ryan.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, someone else. So yeah, I mean, no, they did great.
And again, this scene not only ends right there when she's taking on the heavy fire. Steve Trevor and the team run up behind her and start taking down the German army, but they continue by going into this town that's been overrun by these soldiers, and she's taking them
Belled.
on left and right. When they're at the gates, she says, what did she say when they're at the gate? She's just like, stay right here. Yeah, stay here. I'll take care of it or whatever like that. And they're all looking at each other like, what? What? That just happened? Yeah, that just happened. And she's going
Like
to town.
it was. Well, and then it is funny because how many times did Chris Pine's character tell her stay here? And so it was like, God, like this is what I'm talking about. Why this is such a great movie, and it's like showing a strong female heroine for comic books. None of it felt forced. It was not forced, cheesy BS. It was well thought out, and it was just natural. And it was just like, wow, you really can't argue with that, And so that's why I liked it. And this is the kind of crap I want, man. Like, don't force this shit. Don't like kind of what Marvel's been doing lately. I mean, this could get kind of political kind of bullshit, but what kind of Marvel's been doing, like completely changing their whole MCU, not the universe, and not the universe, but the comic book verse right now. As far as all these changes for diversity, they're just like it's all happening at once, and it's just obvious that they're doing it to like appease people. This, I mean, maybe you could say, I don't really know. You couldn't. It wasn't made to appease people. It's the third person of the Trinity of Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, the founding people of the Justice League, and they fucking killed it. And the best comment I've heard so far about Wonder Woman is someone started up a title like a Twitter or something like that saying why Wonder Woman is going to give people false hope or some shit like that. Like you're like, what? And he goes further into it that DC can actually make a good movie. So it was so no, that right there, like all these things that we're going to name out and that have like focus on a woman's perspective, a woman's whatever you want to call it. It was great, and like I said, none of it felt forced. And yeah, man, this is why this movie was so great.
I imagine that the younger female fan base, they must be feeling what it felt for me personally to be watching Michael Keaton as Batman back in 89, 90, whenever I saw the first Batman film. I can only imagine that when I was 4 or 5 years old watching Batman for the first time, him really being the first superhero I was ever exposed to, they must be going through that same thing. And it must be tremendous because they portrayed this character to her full potential. I don't think you get it any higher than this. This whole sequence of relieving this town of its German captors or these soldiers is just tremendous. I love the choreography. I love the way she fights. From the Amazonians on the island to what she's doing in London, and now to what she's doing in this war scene to these soldiers. I love how she's sliding across the floor on her knees. She's diving, twisting to grab her shield. She ran into a tank and flipped it over because it was pissing her off. I love this. I love everything about this. This is the way it should be, and it's really hard. I'm not gonna say it's easy. It's really hard at this point in the game to like be original with fight scenes or action sequences, because what hasn't been done already? Christopher Nolan flipped over an 18-wheeler. Like, that's probably the last original idea you can think of. But I love how they portrayed all of this. I love how Steve Trevor remembers the Amazonian move where they yell "Shield" and they launch Diana into the air, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking, oh, she's gonna knock this guy out in the tower. Hell no, she takes out the entire uh, bell tower
The whole yeah.
above the chapel. Like the whole thing comes
Oh
down, and
man.
I want to stand up. I want to stand up and scream, yeah, because that's how it felt.
But how cool is it too that Steve Trevor got that from the battle on the beach,
It's amazing. It's amazing.
right?
I loved it.
Like I like how a lot of things carried over like from earlier parts of the movie, into now. Like that was really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But
For sure.
so we need to move along here. But so after they one thing, when I saw it twice, I'm sorry, when I saw it the second time, I actually saw it with a female friend of mine, Mandy. Mandy, what's up, girl? And
Shout out.
she
Shout out.
she shout out. She brought something up that obviously I wouldn't have thought of. Just I'm not gonna lie about it. Just being a dude, I didn't think about this. But so they win the battle of the village, Veld or whatever, and they're dancing and everything. We hear Charlie sing. It's a very very memorable, emotional time movie. I'm sorry, scene. And the night ends when they go to the bedroom with no words said, and Diana walks in, turns around, and Chris starts making his way like he's about to leave the room. Gives Diana one last look, and it's a pretty heavy stare. He
Yeah.
gets the message, and he walks in, and it's very very intimate kiss, and very passionate, and then it ends right there and carries on into the morning. And one thing Mandy, my friend, said that one thing she really appreciated, that she really liked about it, was they didn't show too much. Like, of course, it's a comic book movie, but she appreciated that they showed, an slight intimate moment, but nothing else, like,
Right.
of a sexual nature. And then dropped it. And I was like, wow, I never really thought about that. I mean, like
Yeah.
guys like be like, dude, sexy, dude, yeah, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it was just like, wow, that's just another thing that I didn't think of. It, yeah, that's cool. We didn't really. Deep down, yeah, we may want to. Like, I'm not gonna lie, but as far as this movie goes, and to start the storytelling, it was perfect. And it was like, wow, and that just goes to show, man, just certain things that different sexes don't think about. So that's just another tidbit right there for that scene that I was want to talk about.
I believe this saying
Very cool.
goes, less is more.
Yeah.
For sure, dude.
Yeah.
Preach.
You can take a look at Batman v Superman, and Clark and Lois are in the restroom. Lois is already naked, by the way, in the tub,
Yeah.
and Clark dives in after her. I mean, that's a typical what happens in every other movie. And Patty Jenkins, like I said, this movie doesn't try to be a superhero film. This is a very romantic, moment. You said it. No words, just looks, a very passionate kiss, because it takes forever. Like, it looks like it takes Trevor like 2 minutes to walk over to her, and they're like swirling their heads around one another for a few times. And it just romance and passion. It's the way it should be. It's great. It's fantastic. It's all the little details. It really is. This movie exceeds in a lot of different aspects, and we're getting to our final act now. We're getting to
Yeah, let's get into the final act. Let's
we're
wrap
getting
it
to
up.
the final
Let's
act.
do it.
Good stuff.
Doctor. Oh gosh, Doctor Poison, right? That's what they
Poison.
call her.
Dr.
Yeah.
Moreau.
Doctor
Dr.
Moreau.
Moreau.
Yeah.
Maru.
Maru,
Sorry,
yeah.
Maru.
I
There you
think
go.
they did
Yeah.
say her name differently a couple of times.
Did they? Okay, well, I think it's
It-
Maru. It's Maru, so I think it's Maru.
I wouldn't doubt
That
it.
sounds right.
So they get to the gala, I think is what they called it. I forget what they called it. The ballroom. I don't know what it was.
The
But,
gala. No, it's a gala.
The Regala Gala.
Gosh, what's his name? Londondorf. Ludendorff. Sorry.
Ludendorff.
Danny Huston, bruh.
Danny Huston,
Dude.
his character Ludendorff. They meet for
That
the
guy's
first
boring.
time, and he's really giving us that indication, because the twist hasn't happened yet. He's really giving off the little indication that he definitely could be Ares, or maybe there is no Ares. I'm 50-50 by this point. I'm either thinking there is no Ares, Diana has just not been around other than her island ever, or this guy really is Ares, and we're gonna find out later on. But he's giving that off. Chris Pine, Steve Trevor stops her, and they really. I love the emotion between her and Chris Pine when they're arguing, and she finally gets it that he doesn't believe her, that there is an Ares, and that just, especially what happened the night before, like after all that went down, like it's pretty gut wrenching to hear from someone you just shared that kind of moment with, that he doesn't follow anything you're saying right now. There is no Ares, and she's really taken back. Not to mention the town they just saved is now being gassed to death. Very powerful, dramatic moment right there.
But at the same time, too, I mean, he shares his disagreement, non-belief throughout the whole movie. Like what? Like I mean, so I mean that's kind of obvious, but yeah, what's the real betrayal was that he cut her off. He's trying to do the right thing. She just has a more direct approach about it.
Sure.
He's playing the long game. He's a freaking spy, you know?
Yeah.
And so like that's why it was a perfect dynamic between the two as far as his character. However, his profession kind of contradicted what she's about.
But he really doesn't think there's an Ares, though, right?
Well, yeah, but he's already shared that idea with her. Like,
no, he's not done that. I promise you, he's not mentioned that before.
He's like, okay, he's like, no, I don't think he. At one moment, he does say like, does he say like, I believe you, or like, okay, but I mean, it's not like he's.
All he ever tells her to pacify her is, "I'm gonna take you to the war." He never says
exactly
we're gonna kill Ares because he doesn't believe it, and that's like the betrayal.
But to me, the real betrayal was that he physically interrupted her action for taking out Ludendorff. He got in the way, and the result of that, a whole village that she saved was undone, and they all died. That is why, like, she felt betrayed. Because he was like, we need to find those chemicals, and like, and her idea was kill one person, done. And then that's where the whole, it was a good moment on Chris Pine's character. Like, he absolutely loves this girl, it's obvious, but he's got his own set, he's got his own thing that he needs to get done, and in his world, this is what needs to be done: is take out this factory that's building, death-dealing weapons.
Right.
So I think I see what you're saying, Ted. I think the more influential part was cutting her off from Ludendorff, and then the village dying. Not so much. I don't believe in your God, God of War. That to me is more minimal.
There you go. Next scene. She goes after Ludendorff. She goes after who she believes is Ares. And again, she takes him out. They have a small, quick battle, but to me, I don't know what's going to happen. She kills him really quick. And in my head, I'm thinking, I really hope this isn't the climax to the movie, because that was pretty easy. And not very dramatic. So
I think once that happened, it was obvious. Like, okay, that's not Ares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I'm just that's not Ares, but B, I really hope there's sort of a bigger moment coming up, because that seemed really quick, and I don't want to end it on that note. Let's just say it didn't feel finished.
But did you see? But okay, so there was a classic misdirection, and to me, this is where the movie got a little kind of tropey. But I mean, were you guys surprised by the twist on who Ares actually was?
Jericho?
Yes and no. I mean, I don't know. It's like we saw him as what was he, like a general or something, right? And
He's
Like
like a politician, I think.
a
something like that.
politician or a minister, some minister, yeah, Sir Patrick.
So like we barely got to even know him. So I think if we had known him more, throughout the movie, even just a few more scenes, and then find out he's Aries, like okay, that is a bigger impact for me than just turning out that it was some dude from from the meeting from earlier from all the generals or whatever. I don't know, like it was that part was kind of lackluster for me. Uh, it kind of fell short a little bit, but like it was a good reveal to find out that it wasn't
Yeah.
Danny Houston. I kind of feel it was a waste to have him in that movie then, because in a way it was like, what was the point of having him, like besides being the misdirection? What was the point of having such an incredible actor portray somebody who, so he just turned out to be this German dude who wanted to kill people.
He embodies what Ares is trying to tell Diana. Like, look, man, they're bad already. Like, we don't
Yeah,
need
yeah,
these
yeah.
guys. Like, there you go, Exhibit A. Like, I don't force him to want to murder a whole village that you saved. He wants to do that on his own. I
That's
just
true.
helped
Yeah,
him
I
by
guess you're
getting the
right.
weapons. Yeah.
It was just to me, like it was if we had known him a little bit more. That's my thing. It's like let's say Steve Trevor turned out to be Ares, then it would be like, holy crap, he's been Ares this whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody who we've seen more throughout the film, somebody who we kind of got to know a little bit more, or know that he's a very important character in one woman's life, or part of the story. But then it turns out, he's just the general. He could have been the secretary for all we care. Like that's how little of an impact for me that his reveal had. But yeah, I don't know. And plus, like I love that. I forget his name, but I love that actor. From Harry Potter and everything. Like he's a great actor, but I just didn't see him as being evil. So that kind of understood me too. That part.
The guy that played Sir Patrick,
Yeah, yeah. I believe that's
David Thewlis?
David Lewis. Yeah,
there you go. Yeah, yeah.
David Thewlis, I think.
yeah.
I want to I want to say that I liked it. I want to say that I did not see it coming. So kudos, because you could ask the wife. She says I kind of know where movies kind of go from there. Like I usually I have like an inkling of like who or what's gonna happen next. She'll tell you that all the time. That's kind of a bad thing that I do. I'll be like, "Hey, you see this coming right now?" She's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Just wait, watch what's gonna happen." She'd be like, "What? What's gonna happen?" And something happens. She's like, "How'd you know?"
I would hit you every time if you
Anyways.
did that.
Yeah, I don't spoil it. I just kind of push her in the right. Anyways, I liked it because I didn't see it coming. And Jericho, no, you're totally right. It's kind of I don't know, a soft reveal maybe. I think if we did see him throughout the movie, it would have been a much harder reveal.
Yeah.
But to me, I'm not gonna give it away. But it reminded me a lot of it did. It reminded me a lot of the antagonist in one of my favorite TV shows, Dexter,
Okay.
season
okay.
1. I'm not gonna say who is involved, but our main character Dexter. Watch the show if you haven't seen it. I absolutely loved it. Only watch it until season 5 and then stop. You'll
Yeah,
thank
just
me
stop
later.
after that. Stop. Trust me.
But anyways, in the first season, our antagonist is kept secret throughout the entire season
Yeah, that's
until
true.
like the very last episode or towards the end of the season. And it ended up being a character we only briefly saw, but like nothing but more than a few minutes before that. Just like somebody out of left field you think they had nothing to do with the main story, and it was, like I said, it was a great reveal. So I kind of felt like this. It kind of felt like that.
Well,
It was Go ahead.
well, I was gonna say, like, okay, if it was for me, a reveal like that to happen would have been, I, how do I say it? Because okay, like what you were saying about Danny Houston, like is he Ares or not, and then he gets killed, and then it's like, oh man, I hope that wasn't it. To me, that was the whole time I kept thinking like, well, I don't think Ares is gonna show up. Like I don't, like throughout the whole movie, I honestly, truly thought Danny Houston was gonna be the main villain, and it was gonna have to deal with something with the gas, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
They were gonna somehow try and stop them, and then maybe with that gas that she was creating to make them strong, that was gonna be the focus. She was gonna stop them, and then in the later films, it brings out maybe Ares comes out in the next film or something. But so the whole movie, I never once expected Ares to actually come out. That definitely was a great reveal for me, but just the person that was revealed and the way it was done, I was like, okay, so he is part of the movie then. All right then, and I thought it was gonna end up being another 30, 45 minutes longer, and so I was kind of like, oh come on, this movie was almost over, like even though it was a great film, I was like, wait a minute, you just revealed something that needs a good amount of time for us to really accept it and enjoy it, But go ahead, Ted.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, no, no. I think, like I said, I like the reveal. Ares, I love how they introduced him. He's almost like a reflection in the glass, and he's sort of disappearing as she kind of comes around corners,
Oh,
and
dude.
he's just revealing everything. And then she throws a lasso on him, and she's like, "I order you to tell me the truth," and he's like, "I am.
Yeah.
You're not holding the God Killer in your hand," which he just like burned like a cigarette, like just
Oh my
went away.
God, yes.
He goes, "You are the God Killer," and that I actually expected. That was a little bit more expected for me, knowing that. Well, assuming that there is no weapon that is a God Killer, that she is literally the weapon that was given to the Queen and the rest of the Amazonians.
Yeah.
But I still liked it. Like that shock to her is still felt. It's still a very emotional moment.
And you know what too about the God Killer reveal. Actually, watching it the second time, if you were really keen on the the characters' reactions and everything, and you were paying attention to Polita, and young Diana asks her mother about that, and
Yeah.
she like
Yeah,
looks afar
exactly.
and says God Killer, and then like tightens her hug on Diana. You're like, ah. And so like, yeah, so I like the second time I saw that, I was like, dang it, wish I knew that the first time. I was so proud of myself. Damn it. But at the same time, I was like, yeah, I wasn't like completely surprised. But
Yeah.
basically it's what separates her from the rest of the Amazons. So it totally makes sense. Lundendorf, I started having my suspicions early on that he wasn't Ares. The whole like breathing in those capsules was kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird. I guess they were implying that, oh, he's weak and he's trying to regain his strength from the whole breathing in gas kind of crap. But I was like, okay, well, any comic book fan that knows Ares gets his power from conflict, from war. Like the more suffering and killing going on, the more powerful he becomes. And so I didn't kind of play that, but I had no idea. I could not think, like, I wasn't surprised when he got killed that nothing happened. I was like, okay, this is obvious. So where's the plot twist here? I really did not think Sir Patrick, like right off the bat. I have my suspicions of maybe Maru, maybe like
Yeah.
embodying a female, and flash it around, haha. But it made sense when Sir Patrick came around. And the one thing, so like it got a little. That's why I'm saying where I got a little tropey. But the one thing that really fucking bothered me. I love David Lewis. He's a great actor, but holy effing A, man, the damn mustache did not belong there. Like seeing that shit through the damn helmet, like I was like, Was there mustaches anywhere in Greek mythology? Like, I'm pretty sure they all had beards and goatees or like something. Like they didn't have mustaches. And so when they showed it like a buff ass like weakened, David the Lewis, after a fight with Zeus, I was like, kind of hard to take that serious. And then you see it through the mask, you're like, bruh. I was like, okay, that's his like his mask. That's his him hiding from everybody. Like, take it away. Give him like the video game look where he's like his skin's like ashy black with like red eyes and stuff like that. I'm like, it's so cool. Like, and when he made the armor was dope, and then he made like the slits in the helmet with melting the metal away.
Ooh.
I was like, whoo! And then like I don't know if you guys ever. It was dope. And if you guys ever played Injustice, like he does a lot of moves with like flying around swords and stuff like that and axes. And so seeing the swords coming around him and everything, like throwing them, I was like, that is true Ares fashion. I was like, dude, does Patty Jenkins play Injustice? What's going on here? Or maybe Zack Snyder threw that in there. Which, by the way, people, if you're hating on Zack Snyder, he wrote it, dude. Don't be hating.
Yep.
That's right. He's got a writing credit, and him and his wife Deborah Snyder. They also are producers of this film. Yeah.
Did you know that Zack Snyder?
And he's even in it. That's right. He's even in it. Yeah.
That was great. But yeah. So then the I don't know. Are we getting to the fight and everything? Wrapping the final scene.
This is the fight. Yeah. Ares and Wonder Woman are going
toe to
head to head, toe to toe,
pound for pound.
I like exactly. I like seeing his powers. He's lifting the ground. He's dropping stuff on her.
He's the
threat.
threat.
I like that one moment where like he drops like an entire slab of concrete on her, but she somehow like snuck out and he turns to his left and she just like shoves him out of the way.
Like comes around it like showing that speed off. I was like, damn, girl.
Exactly.
I think the final moments with Diana and Steve Trevor were done perfectly.
I think, totally. Again, this is something you don't. I don't know if you get this in this type of movie. You get this in like Pearl Harbor or one of those huge war movies. Like, it's so. I think this is the first time I've seen it done like this. Not hearing a goodbye when it happens, but hearing it afterwards. I can't think of another movie where this type of scene has occurred, and I absolutely love it. It was really dramatic and powerful. Might I also add, the reason that the moment where she's recalling what he said, I don't know how she's doing it, but maybe it's her god powers coming out of her. But she's replaying that moment in her head, and she's able to, thus figure out what he was saying to her. Right before all that, she went into rage mode.
Yep.
Trevor takes off in the sky. Chris Pine, again, even in his final moments in this movie, he's still giving you 110%.
No dialogue, just pure emotion in the face. Oh God.
Oh my God. He looks over at the base blown up, and he's just like, he's proud. He's proud of his boys. They took care of business. They did what they were sent there to do.
Mission
and
complete.
Then he points the gun, and I'm like, in the first time I saw this movie, and I see him point that gun at the warheads, whatever they were, I'm like, please don't pull the trigger right now. Please milk this moment. And Patty Jenkins just being either talented or how the script was written, whoever did it, they knew that they needed to give this moment. This is Christian Bale at the end of Dark Knight Rises type moment, even though he made it out alive.
Yeah.
Not sure how that happened, but anyways, I don't mind it. I love that they milked it. Chris Pine living up to his reputation to the very last moments in this of his life in this movie.
Yes,
Tremendous.
Tremendous.
And she goes full berserker mode after that.
Yeah, and that was
out of her
great
metal
reaction.
Restraints.
Yep.
Those were tank tracks, I think. That she was wrapped in, and like she just bursted out of them, and then And then Ares is doing, yes, let the hate flow through you. Good.
Good.
I don't know if you guys saw this, but I was actually really impressed at this specific part because Gal Gadot is portraying just this pure rage and this animalistic type emotion, and you see it in her face. It's just like, just her blood is boiling, and
Yeah.
you see that in her face, and they have like the winds blowing in her head, her hair, and everything like that. And I for a split second, I'm like, she looks like a young Gina Davis, and Gina Davis is like. Gina Davis is one of my favorite actresses of all time.
Really?
Like,
I did not know that.
Beetlejuice, The Long Kiss Goodnight, A League of Their Own. Like,
I feel like I don't know you, Ted. Jeez.
I know, yeah.
have you seen? Listen, if you want to see Gina Davis, if badass women have been in movies before Wonder Woman, you want to see a badass female, check out The Long Kiss Goodnight with
Sigourney
Gina
Weaver,
Davis and
Aliens.
Samuel L. Jackson. I'm just letting you know my
Lucy
favorite
Lawless
probably.
as Xena Warrior Princess. Plenty of female strong roles. But as far as comic book roles go too, I mean, just Gal Gadot, man, she's setting the bar high.
Definitely.
Very, very. But she looked just like a young Gina Davis right there for a split second, and then she recalls what Steve said to her. And it makes it even more powerful.
But Ares throws Dr. Moreau out of the car, like right in front of her, and kind of like, take her life, kill her right now. And then, you're right. Like she goes from her beast mode that you're talking about, and she recalls what Steve Trevor says to her, and suddenly you see this serenity just fall over her, and and then it was I think it was a good line. You're right about
there's so
them,
much more.
but there's so much more. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was a good line. I was like, yeah.
Amen. Anybody else get a Dr. Manhattan Watchmen type feeling after that?
Yeah.
What happened?
No, because Ares is a little more passionate about it with more conviction, and Dr. Manhattan is just soulless with pure logic. So not really. But I see that. I see the match.
Wrong part.
Not to. Oh, what part?
The part where Manhattan, he's on, was it Mars, and he's like building his new whatever mansion.
Yeah.
And what's her face? She's like, she's like with him, and she's just like, you need to stop what they're gonna do, and he's like, no, I don't need to stop them. Like he's right, but then he gets that same sort of clarity and realizes that his love is the miracle that comes out of human civilization. Like something so beautiful can come out of an origin, and that can have a past.
Wow,
so
Ted. No, I didn't think that far. Very good.
Anyways,
look at you.
Well,
I feel like you're reading a script. Yeah.
He's
sorry,
right there.
Honestly, I can only watch Watchmen one time. So.
What?
One time I loved Watchmen.
It was good. I don't.
Jericho's with me, aren't you, Jericho?
That's one of my.
Jericho's totally with me.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite comic book movies.
Anywho, that's totally fine. So she gets her clarity. She understands that, even though there's all this hate, love is much more powerful than that, and that's enough reason to let the humans and the civilization to continue. Love is it's that valuable. So takes Ares down using lightning like Zeus did, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of like how she starts she gets in her gauntlets and she starts wrapping her around like she's hitting the speed bag and everything. Like, oh, you're gonna get that
there you
down.
go.
So, it was a cool ending, I guess. So it was all right. I was kind of hoping for something a little more, I don't know, Wonder Woman final blow than blowing lightning right through his chest. Maybe a little more up close and personal, I guess.
Yeah.
But
little hand to hand.
For the most part, it was all right. I mean,
I was hoping for Zeus
trophy
to show up and be
No, you
No.
don't
Zeus
have
make the
Zeus
final.
show
Hang
up.
on,
No,
hang on, hang on, hang on,
God.
hang on, hang on.
I don't want you
Hang
to
on,
finish
hang on,
that.
hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on.
God.
I'm gonna finish. I like the way it ended. I'm thinking maybe Zeus comes in and like gives him the final strike or like takes him away, like that kind of thing.
Fight
That
another
would've been kinda
day,
neat.
some kind of like shredder thing, like go drill in the hole and through the earth, and then like I'll be back, you know.
Like Freddy Krueger pulling Jason's mask underground, like that kind of thing, just like grabbing and pulling him away.
No.
Yeah.
That would,
Daughter,
You're-
daughter, you did me proud. And of course, Zeus is going to be played by John Voight because he always plays sort of the dad or whatever else.
You're by yourself. Plot twist, folks that are listening. Ted's a guest star now.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Rob's been on the
You're
line
right.
this whole time. Oh man, the ending was fine. Like it was kind of weird that
It's a
she
good ending.
suddenly could wield lightning, but again, it goes back to Zeus being her dad, and she doesn't know all of her full powers. So maybe this is one of her powers or something. So.
And that was a cool thing too about her powers was that they seemed to get stronger as time went on.
Yeah,
or like she was discovering how powerful she was. Like it wasn't instant,
That's what I love.
That's what made it more believable and actually cooler. So yeah.
And I bring this show up pretty much every podcast that we do, but again, this reminded me of Smallville because
Here we go.
Because I gotta watch this, Dan, so I know what he's talking
you do.
about.
Because in Smallville, Clark doesn't have all his powers right away. There's several episodes throughout the entire series where he learns his powers and gets stronger and stronger. So it kind of reminded me of that. Like as soon as throughout watching the movie, I was like, man, this is so cool. Like she knows she's strong. She knows she's can jump far and all that stuff. But now when she was hovering with the lightning, I was like, can she fly now? Like, does she know how to fly? Can she wield lightning? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she was kind of like learning different stuff. So I thought that was really, really cool.
And you know what? With mentioning that too, this is why I don't think a Dr. Fate movie would work, because Dr. Fate's pretty OP, like from the get go.
Yeah.
And there would be no like training or workup because he's already an actual entity from from ancient times or whatever.
Right.
So that's exactly why I don't think Dr. Fate movie, but he'd be a good side character to show off.
Yeah.
But
There you go. Exactly.
But yeah, you're right, Jericho. It was a good build up. So maybe I'll put in Smallville. I'll think about it. I'll let you know.
You need
but
to
other than that,
do
man,
yourself a favor.
Yeah, Diana takes down Ares and saves the day, clears the world of his influence, basically. The war's finally ended. And she is now a weapons curator at the Louvre in Paris. Which I've been to the Louvre, didn't see her there when I was there, but that's okay. I will check for her next time.
Yeah.
That was our in-depth little review of Wonder Woman, all the notes and the hits, our favorite parts of the film. There's really not much that I can say I really don't like about this film. And we're going to give our Geekcast rating now. For those of you who are just joining us, or if this is your first movie review listening of ours, we do a Geekcast rating, 1 through 5, 5 being the greatest movie of all time, 1 being the absolute worst movie of all time. And we do this for each and every movie that we review, and it usually starts with me. So, I love this movie a lot. I liked how entertaining it was. I loved how it really just surpassed just the superhero genre altogether. The direction was great. The acting was great. It's a near perfect movie to me. I think there probably are a couple of things just a few things that would keep it from an absolute perfect film. But I absolutely loved it. I don't think it gets much better than this. I put this in my top category of films I think there's still room out there for one movie to be the absolute greatest. This is probably one of the closer ones. I think you put this up there with The Dark Knight. I think you put this up there with probably the first Iron Man and Civil War.
You know,
Civil War still my favorite Marvel movie. Not Civil War. I'm
Winter
sorry.
Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier is still my favorite Marvel movie. I think this goes up there. Choreography, action, writing, acting. I give Wonder Woman a 4.5.
Oh wow.
Dusty.
Nice. You know what, Ted? With how you kept saying it, like I'll put it up there. I'll put it up there. I think we need to change our rating system or something. Like we'll do like top shelf movies or something, middle shelf,
There you go.
bottom cabinet or something like that. Put it back in the drawer. Throw it, like sell it, throw it in the trash, whatever, ship it.
Red box it.
Red box it. You know what? Yeah. Well, we'll figure out a different rating system, make it fun.
There you go.
But yeah, dude, top shelf for sure. I want to say perfect. I mean, there was like, do I be a dick and say, could have been better for that damn mustache that bugged me up the entire movie? So, I mean, dude, it was damn near perfect. I mean, so I guess if I say there were some things I would change, then maybe it's not. But god dang, it was still a beautiful movie, and I'm probably right there with you with the 4.5, 4.5, whatever. But yeah, man, top shelf, and I mean, this kind of passes. This movie, for me, if this says more about 4.5, it probably passes the majority of the Marvel movies, and that's saying something.
Clearly.
That's saying something, considering that I love the shit out of my Marvel movies. So I mean, like I said, man, I got a soft spot for Greek mythology, and this stuff kind of like just tugged at my heartstrings. So yeah, I'll give it a 4.5, and yeah. So Jericho, what do you think?
So I mean, yeah, you know, same boat as y'all. Absolutely loved it through and through. Minor things I would have changed or improved, but it definitely wasn't enough for me to not give it such a high rating. Besides the big reveal, you know, of Ares, I think everything was just absolutely wonderful. Great cast, great chemistry, great writing. I mean, knowing that there's no director's cut, that this is the director's cut, knowing that, just seeing it, you know, and just everything that went behind it, and there's just so much to it, you know. I absolutely loved it. One thing, what I was going to say a few minutes ago, what really impressed me even more about the movie is there was absolutely no need for any cameos of any sorts, you know. Yeah, we saw a letter from Bruce Wayne and you know, his truck and everything, the Wayne Enterprises truck, but
that's another thing too, Jericho. Like, tell me, you guys were not like how pissed off, or like I don't know if you guys. I would be pissed off if Batman showed up.
Well, see, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
it impressed me so much that this movie, because I actually forgot when I was watching, I totally forgot she was telling a story. I completely forgot. Like, I was just so into the movie. So when it came to present day, you know, and she's there back at the museum or whatever, the antique place, I totally forgot that she was telling the story. And so just seeing that, you know, that Bruce is around, you know, without actually being there, I'm glad they didn't do any cameos. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Like he didn't have to show up. They didn't have to show any other Marvel character. I mean, DC characters or anything like that. Didn't have to show a clip or lead into anything. It just showed, you know, that was the end of the film, and now she went into battle to go do something else. You know, and that was, to me, that sealed the movie perfectly. That wrapped it up perfectly. And like y'all were saying, definitely set the bar very high. Y'all gave it a 4.5. I was actually going to give it a little bit higher, and I'm not too sure how many movies I've given this rating to, but I'm going to give it a 4.8.
You can do that. We can do 4.8.
Yeah. Well, I mean, y'all saying 4.5.
Well, 4.5. Like it's like I mean, it's 4.5.
Well,
I mean,
if 4.5 is going to be the highest, besides giving it a perfect score, then I'll say 4.5 too. But
no. I mean, it's an undefined rating system. Like I said, we need to. I think we need.
We're gonna change it anyway.
Make our mark. But you know what? Leave it, dude. 4.8. All right.
Leave it.
I like it.
He said 4.8.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Is there an echo? Hold on. Let me check my levels real quick. Echo. No, we're good.
Echo.
Just shut up,
No,
Ted.
we're good. That brings our overall score to a 4.6. It might be good that Robert might not be here because he's usually the guy that drops the scores.
Hold on. Let me try it. So, let me tell you why this movie wasn't that good.
Oh, man.
So we get it, okay? Women are smart and beautiful. Get over it, okay? No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's Robert right there.
Just a joke, Rob.
Yeah.
That brings our overall Geekcast score to a 4.6. We clearly love this movie. Let us know what you thought about this movie. Wonder Woman in theaters. It's made, as of today, it's made over $600 million, I think, is the last time I heard.
Woo.
Or was it $500 million?
Keep going.
I have no idea, but it's going to be huge. It already is. It's already huge, and it's tremendous, and it's breaking all kinds of records. And Patty Jenkins is now the most successful female director in cinema history, if I'm not mistaken.
What I was going to say, Ted, I was actually hoping we wouldn't say that because she even said herself she didn't want to be known for being the first comic book or female comic book director. She didn't want to be the first successful female comic book director. Like she wanted to be just a director, and
I hear that.
Movie. Yeah.
But here's the thing about that. It is what it is. Like she is setting the bar. She is most successful. Her take is that I guess she's trying to be modest about it, which is totally cool. Like she's pushing to where that's not a thing. It's just that it's a director, but
it's just normal.
But obviously it's not. And this movie has set that tone, and it sets to the part where this is how it needs to be done. Yeah, don't force it, man. Don't we need more female freaking heroes, blah blah blah. No, Wonder Woman is a pivotal part in the Justice League. That is obvious. She did it. She nailed it. Make it a regular thing. Keep going with it. Keep flowing this momentum, and then we will get. And just the natural way that this movie was made, we'll get there. We'll get there to where it's not that big of a fucking deal. And Patty Jenkins is, up there with Spielberg, maybe. Who knows? Just keep going.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but yeah, I totally see where she's coming from. But at the same time, the way we're looking at it now, the way we measure shit,
it's unfortunate, but you can.
I mean, it's not totally unfortunate, but it's every great thing has a beginning. This is where we're at. So, I mean, eventually we'll get there, dude. We'll get there.
Yeah.
But good job, Patty. Fucking rocking.
Great job, Patty.
PJ. What's up, Dad?
PJ.
What's up, girl? Keep going.
Great job to Gal. Great job to Chris Pine, who I'm hoping, and I'm gonna theorize that we'll see Chris Pine not in the Wonder Woman sequel, but maybe a Justice League sequel.
Ooh.
Before you stop me and say, Ted, that's impossible, I'm gonna tell you. We have a speedster that can travel through time. It's not impossible.
Dun, dun, dun.
Ooh. Dun, dun, dun.
It is not impossible.
Dang,
What's the rule in comic book movies?
Yeah.
Until you see a body, anything can happen.
This is true.
That actually just tripped me up right now because I had a totally different theory. It was way out there, but totally forgetting about Flash. He could easily just bring him back or something like that. That's pretty interesting.
In the milliseconds between Trevor fires his gun, Flash can zoom into that plane, grab him, go back to the future, and pull him out before that plane ever goes up. And it's great because you're not even affecting the history of time, which is kind of Flash's number one rule. You don't mess with time. You don't You don't change the past. You're not changing the past. You're pulling him out of a moment where he was going to not exist at all. So
I see you. I see you.
Okay.
yeah.
Maybe place a device that'll blow up the plane, mid-flight or something.
All right. We're getting a little too far.
Yeah.
Too far.
Slow it down there, fanboy.
Let's hope somebody, Patty Snyder, even Joss Whedon, who's now sort of taking over the reins and finishing up Justice League for Zack while he's going through his family tragedy. And see if Joss can even figure something out. And
then did Joss Whedon? I think he's isn't he coming over and also doing Batgirl?
He's doing Batgirl.
Yep.
So hopefully maybe he can take some maybe get like a co-director for Patty, maybe help out a little bit, because hey, I love Joss Whedon. Don't get me wrong, but like I said, man, hey, go easy on those jokes, dude. Go easy on comedy night. So
there you go.
I love you, Josh. I love you, Josh.
And that was our review for Wonder Woman. I think just absolutely nailed it. They did what they needed to do. They needed to make it an action adventure, and that's exactly what it was, an action adventure movie. Now to get into some changing the tone a little bit, we lost a hero in the entertainment industry. Not the first Batman I was experienced to, but definitely one of the most beloved Batmans. There have been many, so one of the most beloved Batmans, if not the most loved Batman of all. Adam West passed away earlier this month at the age of 88. He had a brief battle with leukemia. The outpouring, the support, the love for Adam West, for everything he's done, for being not only in our 1960s Batman, but even up until his most recent role, the mayor of Quahog on Family Guy. Everybody has paid their respects and shown their love and support. And just this week, the city of Los Angeles lit up the bat signal on the City Hall, as a tribute for Adam West, and
I
Jericho
saw that
posted
man.
video of it.
Cool.
Jericho posted video of it on our Facebook page. So if you haven't seen it, go by and check it out. But just wanted to say he was tremendous. I think he really gave the Bruce Wayne character, he gave the Batman character a style that sort of lives on. I don't think you're ever going to replicate that ever.
I mean, how hard are you gonna punch someone for words that come out of them? So
it's never gonna be done again.
No,
probably not.
But here's to you, Adam West. You are truly missed by the millions of fans that you've made and created all over the world. Thank you, Mr. West. You will truly be missed. For the Countdown City Geekcast, my name is Steady. This has been a tremendous episode reviewing Wonder Woman. Thanks to the other two gentlemen with me tonight. First we got Jericho.
See y'all later. Thank y'all for listening.
And we also got Dusty.
Hey guys. See you later.
We'll catch you next time.
Batman.
That one.
Yeah. Damn it.
Pow.
Wham.
This has been an episode of the Countdown City Geekcast. For more Geekcast episodes, subscribe to us on iTunes and write us a review. Be sure to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Countdown City Geekcast. Follow us on Twitter at ccg_podcast, or visit our website at www.countdowncitygeekcast.com.